Chapter 51-49 Rings. One punch smashed the chaos clock. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom! A terrifying shockwave exploded outward from where Kong Wudao stood with the chaos clock. Monks watching from afar were blasted away like scattered leaves in a hurricane. Then, the bell tolled a third, fourth, and fifth time in quick succession. The entire Chaos Holy Land was engulfed in a wave of divine sound, the ancient chimes resonating in the minds of all who heard it. The disciples of the Chaos Holy Land were stunned. Each of them had come into contact with the Chaos Clock upon entering the Holy Land. Even Yuanshao, who had once made the Chaos Bell ring 9 times, hadn't produced such an earth-shattering sound. But the ringing wasn't over. Clang! 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 The 6th, 7th, 8th, and finally the 9th bell rang out once more. This time, the countless lines of the great Dao etched onto the chaos clock blazed with light, filling the air with an intense radiance like a sun crashing to earth, bathing everything in gold. The minds of everyone in the Chaos Holy Land went blank, their hearts skipping a beat from the sheer shock. 9 rings. Kong Wudao had actually made the chaos bell ring 9 times. And he had done it faster than Yuanshao ever could. In just a couple of breaths, he'd managed to make the chaos bell sing. It had taken Yuanshao a full 45 breaths to achieve the same feat. What did it mean? Kong Wudao's innate power dwarfed Yuanshao's. The gap between them was a canyon too wide to cross, no matter how hard he tried. How is this possible? Yuanshao, witnessing the scene firsthand, turned as white as a sheet and stammered, 9 rings. Not only had Kong Wudao made the chaos bell ring 9 times, but he'd done it at lightning speed. The sheer difference between them made him feel utterly insignificant, his sense of emptiness growing stronger. Ding! Destiny male protagonist, Yuanshao, detected developing fear of his master. 800 destiny points deducted, leaving a total of 7,200. Congratulations, master, for triggering a double critical hit, successfully gaining 1,600 destiny points. Kong Wudao paid it no mind, instead increasing the power in his hands, rumbling. An even more terrifying and majestic force of chaotic void erupted from Kong Wudao's palm. The surging, boundless law crashed against the chaos clock like a tidal wave against the shore. Clang! The bells continued to ring, one after another. The already golden chaos clock grew even more dazzling, the intense halo forcing countless monks to shield their eyes, unable to bear the light. The golden world echoed with the deafening chimes. The sound even roused the ancient ancestors sleeping deep within the Chaos Holy Land. What's happening? The chaos clock, what was unfolding was beyond their comprehension. The chaos bell, a relic of their ancestor, was now ringing nearly 20 times. And the tolling continued to climb. But, today wasn't the day for the Holy Land of Chaos to accept new disciples. Why was the chaos clock causing such a commotion? The entire Beixian Dao domain was shaken. Countless supreme beings were jolted by the majestic bells, casting incredulous glances toward the Chaos Holy Land. What in the world is going on? The Chaos Bell in the Chaos Holy Land, why has it rung dozens of times in a row? Holy crap! According to ancient texts, the Chaos Bell can only ring 9 times at most. Why so many today? Could it be the Holy Land of Chaos has produced another unbelievable prodigy? But they just revealed Yuanshao a few years ago. I overheard a report, someone from the time and space restricted area is visiting the Holy Land of Chaos. Could this be caused by a top genius from there? The powerful figures discussed. Analyzing the situation, many sent out their spiritual senses, probing the Chaos Holy Land, eager to discover the source of the commotion. At the same time, when the Chaos Bell reached its 49th ring, with a sharp crack, the soul-shattering chimes finally subsided. Everyone was in a daze, their souls, which had been scattered to the 4 winds by the sound, slowly returning to their bodies. After regaining their senses, their eyes immediately turned to Kong Wudao. But what they saw turned them to stone. Kong Wudao still stood in the same posture, his fist firmly planted against the surface of the chaos clock. From Kong Wudao's fist, spiderweb cracks spread across the bell. Heh, looks like your Chaos Holy Land's precious treasure is a bit overrated. Couldn't even handle one punch from me. Crack, 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 as Kong Wudao pulled back his hand, the spiderweb cracks expanded, large pieces of the bell falling away like iron filings. Where Kong Wudao's fist had struck, a gaping black hole had formed. Kong Wudao casually shook his hand, clearing away the debris. If the chaos clock hadn't broken, his punch would have made it ring far more than 49 times. The world was silent, as if time itself had stopped. Everyone who witnessed the scene shared the same expression, pupils dilated, mouths agape, faces twisted in shock, frozen in place like statues. Broken, the chaos bell had been shattered by Kong Wudao's punch. According to ancient records, the Chaos Bell was the natal weapon of the founder of the Chaos Holy Land, and that founder was a top-tier emperor. Even decayed by the passage of time, the Chaos Bell shouldn't have been broken by a young man like Kong Wudao. But what they had just witnessed forced them to accept the unbelievable truth. Chapter 52 The ancient ancestor of the Holy Land of Chaos has arrived. How can he be treated with company? You are listening at novelfull.audio. After what felt like forever in dead silence, the crowd exploded like a shaken-up soda. Did a human just do that? 49 rings, has anyone in the history of the Chaos Holy Land ever pulled that off? So that's why Kong Wudao was so cocky earlier. Saying 9 rings would be enough, 49 is just showing off. Was that the power of Chaos Kong Wudao unleashed? Why did it resonate with the Chaos Bell so strongly, that the Chaos Holy Land disciples were buzzing, but the great emperors like Kong Xuanhuan were practically worshipping Kong Wudao? This was their godson from the time-space restricted zone. He'd be absolutely unbeatable anywhere. 49 rings. Yun Shao, who'd witnessed the whole thing, was as white as a sheet. He was shaking so badly from the shock, he looked like he was about to collapse. He'd always thought his talent, getting the Chaos Bell to ring 9 times, was something special. After all, before Kong Wudao showed up, only the founder of the Chaos Holy Land and him had managed to ring the bell at all. But Kong Wudao comes along and rings the Chaos Bell 49 times with one punch. The talent he was so proud of was a complete joke compared to Kong Wudao. Ding! Detected Destiny protagonist Yun Shao, who has fallen into severe self-doubt after being humiliated by the host. 1,000 Destiny points deducted, leaving 6,200 points. Congratulations to the host for triggering a double critical hit and gaining 2,000 Destiny points. Kong Wudao smirked, remembering that punch on the Chaos Bell. He'd unleashed his void chaos body, absorbing all the chaos essence hidden in the bell. Now, his void chaos body was even stronger. He had to thank Tianshan for this. Without him, he wouldn't have gotten so many unexpected perks. Boom! Suddenly, above the Chaos Holy Land's ancestral homeland, divine lightning ripped across the sky and a violent aura surged out, changing the entire landscape. That energy. The 3 ancestors of the Chaos Holy Land looked up, their expressions changing drastically. Xuanhuan Ancestor. The Xuanhuan Ancient Ancestor was their only ancient ancestor. He was at the quasi-emperor level, just one step away from becoming a great emperor. In an era without visible great emperors, the quasi-emperor was the most powerful existence. That's why the Chaos Holy Land was one of the top forces in the Beixian Dao domain, but because their Xuanhuan ancestor hadn't become a great emperor and was running out of time, he'd been in seclusion in his ancestral land for ages. Now, he was awakened by Kong Wudao's outburst. Who rang the Chaos Bell 49 times? An ancient voice echoed through the sky as a figure bathed in light slowly appeared. Ancestor, greetings, Xuanhuan Ancient Ancestor. Everyone in the Chaos Holy Land bowed respectfully, but even when the ancient ancestor of the Chaos Holy Land appeared, Kong Wudao didn't even flinch. He just stood there, hands behind his back, watching with indifference. The mere ancient ancestor of the Chaos Holy Land wasn't worthy of his respect. And you are? The Xuanhuan Ancient Ancestor noticed Kong Wudao and the others. He sensed their aura and immediately knew who they were, but as he realized their identities, the Xuanhuan Ancient Ancestor was shocked. How could people from the time-space restricted zone be in his Chaos Holy Land? The 3 ancestors of the Chaos Holy Land explained to their ancient ancestor, who had been sleeping and didn't know what was going on. After hearing the whole story, the Xuanhuan ancient ancestor glared at Tian Supreme and secretly cursed, "You idiot! You're supposed to be our ancestor. Our chaos holy land is already declining. We're barely a top lineage in Beixian Dao domain. In the grand scheme of things, we're nothing. The time and space forbidden zone once threatened the entire universe. You think our chaos holy land can stand against them?" The Xuanhuan ancient ancestor wanted to strangle Supreme Tian. Sure, Kong Wudao started the trouble on their turf, but without a powerful emperor in the chaos holy land, how could they possibly provoke Kong Wudao? And to make matters worse, those three idiots used the chaos bell, their most important treasure, as a prize for a competition with Kong Wudao. Not only did they offend Kong Wudao, but they also broke the chaos bell. As the ancient ancestors of the Chaos Holy Land, they knew that the Chaos Bell contained the Chaos Essence left behind by their ancestors. It was a key part of their foundation. Just as the Xuanhuan ancient ancestor was about to secretly recover the Chaos Essence, he sensed something and his expression changed dramatically. The Chaos Essence left in the Chaos Bell by their ancestors had completely disappeared. "You!" The Xuanhuan ancient ancestor stared at Kong Wudao. "Did you absorb the Chaos Essence in the Chaos Bell?" Everything went silent. Everyone looked at Kong Wudao in shock. Chaos Essence. Legend says that the supreme power that birthed the Chaos Bell was transformed from the purest power of chaos. Without Chaos Essence, the Chaos Bell loses its divinity. The Chaos Clock is the ultimate symbol of their Chaos Holy Land. Now, Kong Wudao had not only smashed the Chaos Bell with one punch but had also absorbed the Chaos Essence inside. It was an outrage. Kong Wudao didn't care about the angry stares. "So what? You set up the competition. I won and absorbed the Chaos Essence. What's the problem?" That the Chaos Holy Land froze, speechless. Nobody expected Kong Wudao to admit it, much less with such arrogance. Even the Xuanhuan ancient ancestor was furious, but because of Kong Wudao's identity, the Xuanhuan ancient ancestor didn't want to make things worse. He calmed himself and said, "The previous offense against the godson Wu Dao was our fault. But the Chaos Essence is our most important treasure, left behind by our ancestors. We can overlook the fact that godson Wu Dao smashed the Chaos Bell. But you cannot take away the Chaos Essence. Please return it." That even though Kong Wudao's words angered him, he still didn't dare to offend him too much. Chapter 53, Extremely Tyrannical, Giving Down the Emperor's Decree. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Xuanhuan's opinion, he was already being more than generous. Any other young monk from a rival faction who dared to spout such nonsense in his Chaos Holy Land would have been crushed instantly. Yet, Kong Wudao didn't flinch. Instead, a smile played on his lips. Everything was unfolding exactly as he'd anticipated. Meanwhile, Yin Supreme and the other emperors in the time-space restricted zone were on high alert, ready to respond immediately if needed. Kong Wudao chuckled, raising a hand to calm his people. As a son of God from the restricted zone, he had a special connection to his ancestors. Even across vast distances, they could intervene at a moment's notice. Haha, return the Chaos Essence. Once something's in the hands of this son of God, there's no chance of getting it back. These words shocked everyone, including Xuanhuan himself. He couldn't believe Kong Wudao, a mere quasi-emperor, dared to be so arrogant. It fueled his already burning rage. This was an insult. They were barging into the Chaos Holy Land, causing trouble, smashing their Chaos Bell, stealing their Chaos Essence, and now, they were uttering such audacious words, completely disregarding him, the ancient ancestor. It was as if the Chaos Holy Land was nothing but dirt to be trampled on. Before Xuanhuan could erupt, Kong Wudao slowly looked up, a faint smile on his face. Furthermore, Senior, you've made a fundamental mistake. If you, Chaos Holy Land, don't provide a satisfactory answer to this son of God, my time-space restricted zone may no longer see a need for your Chaos Holy Land to exist. With a wave of his hand, Kong Wudao summoned a token, etched with celestial patterns and radiating light. Before anyone could react, the token blazed with blinding intensity. Suddenly, a terrifying aura, like a tidal wave, erupted from it. Under this immense pressure, the sky roiled, and the very fabric of reality seemed to warp. Not only was the Chaos Holy Land engulfed, but the entire Beixian Dao domain was subjected to this overpowering force. What is that? Panic swept through the Beixian Dao domain. Countless monks instinctively looked towards the source. They saw divine lightning flashing above the Chaos Holy Land, and a vortex of chaotic energy spreading. At its center was an endless, radiant glow, a golden decree, imbued with earth-shattering power, tore through space, a divine presence descending upon them. This is. The monks who sensed the aura gasped, an imperial edict. That this overwhelming pressure was undeniably imperial. The golden decree was the legendary emperor's edict. These were special decrees created by emperors, infused with their essence and blood. When activated, their power was comparable to a strike from the emperor themselves. Only emperors of the 7th grade and above were capable of creating them, the red dust emperors. There were two types of powerful emperors in the world, the Huntian Emperor and the Destiny Emperor. Since the collapse of the heavens, the laws of nature had been fragmented, making the path to becoming emperor unattainable for many. These individuals resorted to alternative methods, sacrificing their sex resources. They poured countless efforts and rare artifacts into breaking the shackles of the imperial realm. However, because their ascension wasn't sanctioned by the heavens, they were known as the Huntian Emperors. Achieving this required extraordinary talent and a vast accumulation of divine objects. Most were only 8th or 9th grade. 7th grade and above were incredibly rare. It was worth noting that Huntian Emperors were not recognized in the past years. After all, the real emperor is to reach the end of the road to God, inherit the destiny, glimpse the great road, and be destined to be the only one in this life. This kind of emperor is called the Destiny Emperor, and there will only be one in a lifetime. Of course, the most powerful and outstanding emperor of heaven is called the Emperor of Heaven. Stand tall on the destiny of heaven and take heaven as your name. But in this era where the emperor is invisible, having a 7th grade mortal emperor who can condense the emperor's decree is already terrifying enough. Wait, hasn't the Chaos Holy Land fallen from grace? I heard their strongest ancestor is only a quasi-emperor. How could they have a 7th grade emperor capable of wielding an imperial edict? Were they hiding something? Something's not right. The aura from that edict doesn't feel like it belongs to the Chaos Holy Land. One strong man suddenly exclaimed, the time-space restricted zone visited the Chaos Holy Land earlier. Could this be an edict summoned by them? That the word sent shivers down everyone's spines, the time-space restricted zone. If the Chaos Holy Land had angered them, and the edict was their response, the Chaos Holy Land was facing utter annihilation. Back in the Chaos Holy Land, as the Imperial Edict, radiating golden light and filled with boundless power, descended from the sky, the entire Holy Land was submerged in its oppressive aura. Structures groaned, and the landscape threatened to crumble. Everyone, except those from the time-space restricted area, felt like specks of dust before a supernova. Many Chaos Holy Land experts trembled, some even losing consciousness. Even Xuanhuan, who had been consumed by rage, felt as if doused in ice water. His face turned white, and his body went numb. An imperial edict, this was an overwhelming display of force. A disagreement leads directly to the emperor's decree. Only someone above the 7th grade emperor realm was qualified to condense it. Wasn't the time-space restricted zone supposed to be in decline? Casually pulling out an emperor's decree, is this what they call decline? Chapter 54 Faith collapses, and the ancient ancestors surrender. The greatest mercy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time and space restricted zone. A lot of the old guard here got Kong Wudao's message, too, so they're already in on his plan. Haha. That kid Wu Dao really thinks ahead. He's not just crazy talented, he's looking out for our zone. Seriously, though, it's just some Chaos Holy Land. I could squash it like a bug without even trying. Who cares? Let Wu Dao do his thing. It'll spice things up around here. This zone's been too quiet for too long. Folks have forgotten how powerful we are. Now that Wu Dao's back in action, it's time he brought back the glory days. Bottom line, Kong Wudao's their golden boy, so they're backing him no matter what. even if he decided to wipe out some big shot, they wouldn't even bat an eye, a measly Chaos Holy Land. If Kong Wudao wants it gone, then so be it. Meanwhile, over at the Chaos Holy Land, Kong Wudao saw the look on the Xuanhuan ancestor's face and couldn't help but grin. So, you were saying something about getting that chaos essence back, right? Well, I'm a big believer in respecting my elders. Tell you what, I'll give you another shot to rephrase that. What exactly were you trying to say? That you could hear a pin drop, Kong Wudao's voice echoed, clear as a bell. It was soft and casual, but it still sent chills down everyone's spines. After all, that emperor's decree was hanging over them like a storm cloud. One word from Kong Wudao, and that thing could vaporize the whole Holy Land. Every eye in the place was glued to the Xuanhuan ancestor, waiting for him to speak. The ancestor was sweating bullets. His back was soaked. Kong Wudao had just completely humiliated him. If he caved now, as a quasi-emperor and the top dog of the Chaos Holy Land, what about his pride? Kong Wudao had just stomped all over it, but if he didn't answer, the emperor's decree would drop and the Holy Land would be toast. He was kicking himself for underestimating Kong Wudao. Taking a deep breath, Xuanhuan ancestor swallowed his pride. Under the watchful eyes of every monk in the Chaos Holy Land, he bowed low to Kong Wudao and said, "It's an honor for the Chaos Holy Land to have the son of God Wudao take the essence of chaos. What happened before was my fault. I beg the son of God Wudao, for your forgiveness." That the monks of the Chaos Holy Land felt a mix of emotions. First, their ancestor Kai Tian had bowed his head. Now, their most powerful ancestor was doing the same, practically begging. Had the legendary time and space restricted zone made their Chaos Holy Land look so weak? Guzu. Yun Shao, especially, felt his faith crumble. The Chaos Holy Land was supposed to be one of the big players in Bei Xian Dao domain, and as the top Holy Son, he thought he was a big deal, too. Before Kong Wudao showed up, he figured he was on the same level. Now, he realized that he and the whole Holy Land were a joke. Kong Wudao and the time and space restricted zone had completely crushed his ego. Ding. It was detected that the belief of the destiny hero Yun Shao was completely destroyed due to the master's methods, and the opponent's destiny points were deducted by 2,000 points. 4,200 points left. Kong Wudao raised an eyebrow. He was surprised the guy lost so many points, but it made sense, considering Yun Shao was the golden boy of the Holy Land, full of himself and his status. Now, the strongest guys in his faction were groveling, and he was just some kid who could get squashed at any moment. Still, that didn't mean Kong Wudao was going to let him off the hook. Yun Shao had run his mouth before, and he deserved to lose everything. Haha. I'm not buying the apology. The Chaos Holy Land's big shot sank into despair. Was this it? Was the Holy Land going to be wiped off the map? Just when everyone was freaking out, Kong Wudao looked up at Yun Shao. The kid trembled and couldn't even meet his gaze. You were saying something before about how I was a bully and you wanted to fight me. Here's your chance. I'll be merciful. If you can beat me, I'll spare the Chaos Holy Land. And don't worry, I won't go all out. You don't even have to beat me. Just make me take half a step back, and you win. Everyone's head snapped back toward Yun Shao. The younger monks of the Chaos Holy Land were practically glowing with hope. Yun Shao was their hero, a legend who'd never lost. Kong Wudao was strong, sure, way stronger, but just making him take a step back. Yun Shao could do that, right? Yun Shao felt the weight of everyone's stares and looked sick. Kong Wudao had scared him so badly that he was already having a mental breakdown. Just facing him made him want to run, let alone fight. He tried to psych himself up, but his legs felt like lead. Hee hee. A chuckle cut through the tension. Yun Shao looked up and met Kong Wudao's mocking gaze. I thought you were so tough before. Now you're all quiet. Kong Wudao shook his head with a smile. Alright, I'll give you the first 3 moves. How's that sound? Yun Shao felt like he'd been slapped. This wasn't just disrespect, it was treating him like he was nothing. Add that to the disappointed looks he was getting from the crowd, and his anger finally boiled over. He'd been on top of the world since he'd made a name for himself. How could he let this happen? The guy was offering him 3 free shots, and all he had to do was make him flinch. This was his chance to shut Kong Wudao up. Fine. Yun Shao took a deep breath, his eyes blazing. He looked up and said, deal. And the Son of God better keep his word. Sure, Kong Wudao said casually, but Yun Shao and the Chaos Holy Land were missing the point. He wasn't just giving them hope, he was setting them up for an even bigger fall. The feeling of admiring prey and falling from hope to despair is undoubtedly wonderful. Chapter 55. There is a bright moon phenomenon on the sea, it has no effect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A moment hung in the air. Xinyu Square had been completely cleared, creating a massive arena. In the center, Kong Wudao faced off against Yun Shao. Though similar in appearance, the two radiated completely different vibes. Kong Wudao stood with his hands clasped behind his back, robes billowing in the breeze, a perpetual smile playing on his lips, the picture of utter confidence. Yun Shao, on the other hand, wore a grim expression. Despite his best efforts, a hint of fear lingered in his eyes. Even their supporters mirrored this contrast. The Emperor's lineage and the many geniuses from the time and space restricted area remained detached, barely giving the fight a glance. Their faith in Kong Wudao was absolute. In their eyes, Wudao was more than capable of crushing Yun Shao. Even if he spotted the other guy 3 free hits, the outcome wouldn't change. Conversely, the members of the Chaos Holy Land, standing in Yun Shao's corner, were slick with sweat, barely daring to breathe. If Yun Shao fell, they all fell. He was their last hope. Beyond the Chaos Holy Land, a crowd of powerful figures from other factions had gathered, drawn by the buzz, more gloating than curious, though. Ha ha ha. The Chaos Holy Land is totally screwed this time. They actually pissed off the Son of God from the time and space restricted area. Word is, Wudao is practically worshipped by the ancestors of the time and space zone. How stupid can the Chaos Holy Land be, provoking him? Haha. If the Chaos Holy Land survives this disaster, it'll be a miracle if they even manage to keep their teachings intact, let alone rise in power. However, some seasoned figures, likely familiar with Yanwei's situation, watched the Chaos Holy Land with grave expressions. Did the Chaos Holy Land lack the foresight to avoid provoking the time and space restricted area? Or did the Son of God from the time and space restricted area refuse to let things go, and summon the Emperor's decree? They marveled at Kong Wudao's dominance and feared the time and space restricted area even more. Could it be, the rumors aren't true? Is the time and space restricted area still the terror that makes the whole world tremble? Back in the Chaos Holy Land, every eye was glued to the two figures in the center of the arena. Yun Shao took several deep breaths, trying to calm himself. Yun Shao, 3 moves. If you can just make him flinch within those 3 moves, you've won. Our ancestors and fellow disciples are counting on you. How can you be afraid of this? After a pep talk, Yun Shao finally steadied his nerves. When he opened his eyes, a power seemed to awaken within him, transforming his entire demeanor. Boom. An aura of pure chaos erupted from his body. The space within 100 feet buckled under the pressure of this force, becoming dense and heavy. Behind Yun Shao, space twisted and shimmered, coalescing into a sparkling ocean of chaotic light. The chaotic energy intensified, eventually forming a radiant moon behind him. Turbulent purple energy, like starlight falling to earth, enveloped everything in a dazzling glow. It's the chaotic vision of the Holy Son of Yun Shao. A bright moon rising above the chaotic sea. That the chaos body was even rarer than the supreme bone, and its visions were legendary. Coupled with Yun Shao's talent, he perfectly manifested the chaotic body's great vision. Seeing this, hope surged through the Chaos Holy Land, and their faces lit up, but no one noticed the growing smirk on Kong Wudao's face. A chaos body phenomenon? The show is pretty good. Of course, it would be boring if this was just a bluff. 8 desolate divine fists. Yun Shao roared, his momentum exploding. Red flames flared in his eyes, like a comet streaking across the sky. He channeled a force that could shatter heaven and earth, and charged towards Kong Wudao. Behind him, the manifestation of a peerless war god mirrored Yun Shao's every move, unleashing a simultaneous blow. But Kong Wudao didn't even flinch. Not until the attack was almost on him did he even think to react. Boom! A deafening blast of raw power reverberated through the sky. Kong Wudao and the surrounding area were engulfed in a tsunami of law, disappearing into the blinding light. Did he get him? The Chaos Holy Land held its breath, eyes fixed on the dissipating smoke. Such a devastating blow should at least have made Kong Wudao stumble, maybe even sent him flying, right? But then, Kong Wudao's voice, still laced with amusement, echoed from within the chaos. You have 2 more chances. Before anyone could process that, boom! An explosion erupted from the center of the dust cloud, instantly clearing the air and revealing the scene. This. The monks of the Chaos Holy Land were stunned into silence, their understanding of the world shattered. Kong Wudao stood with his hands behind his back, unfazed. Not only was he unharmed, but his robes were as pristine as fresh snow. The truly shocking part was, the arena had been completely obliterated by Yun Zhao's punch, reduced to a bottomless pit. But, the ground beneath Kong Wudao and a small circle around him remained untouched, as if protected by an invisible force field. It was spotless, pristine, untouched by the attack. Kong Wudao stood there like an immovable mountain. He hadn't even budged an inch. Chapter 56, Full Power Explosion. The ending remains the same. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even Xuanhuan, the ancient ancestor of the Chaos Holy Land, who was watching, was stunned. He was so shocked, his mind went completely blank. He knew Yun Xiao and Kong Wudao were in different leagues, but he never imagined the gap was this huge. No, it's not that the difference between them is so vast, it's that Kong Wudao is just that strong. As a powerful quasi-emperor, he saw it clearly. Before Yun Xiao's attack even reached Kong Wudao, it was suppressed by an overwhelming force and vanished instantly. Kong Wudao didn't even twitch a finger. He could neutralize Yun Xiao's attack with 0 effort. How is this possible? Yun Xiao, snapped out of his stupor, was shaken to his core. The 8 desolate divine fist is their Chaos Holy Land's ultimate power. It can shake heaven and earth, crushing everything. When he threw that punch, he channeled his chaotic energy into it, multiplying its power. But why? Why did his attack fail completely? Ding! It has been detected that the male protagonist Yun Xiao suffered a blow to his spirit due to his master's strength. The opponent's destiny points were deducted by 3,700, leaving points. Congratulations to the owner for triggering a triple critical hit and successfully gaining 1,500 points. Just as Yun Xiao was experiencing an existential crisis, Kong Wudao spoke again, keep stalling, and I'll take it as you forfeiting. At these words, many ancestors in the Chaos Holy Land looked worried and they immediately began sending secret messages to Yun Xiao. Yun Xiao. Don't get discouraged. You've still got 2 shots. If you can just get Kong Wudao to take half a step back, you'll win this. Think of that last attack as a test, a warm-up. We know you can win this next time. Yun Xiao. You're the most incredible genius in the history of our Chaos Holy Land. Don't underestimate yourself. The ancestors started cheering Yun Xiao on. This wasn't just about Yun Xiao, it was about the entire Chaos Holy Land. Hearing their encouragement, Yun Xiao calmed his mind. That's right, he still had 2 chances. He hadn't fully tapped into his chaos body yet. If he went all out, there was still hope. Recomposing himself, Yun Xiao's aura surged again. This time, he fully unleashed his power, and the terrifying force of chaos swept through the entire Chaos Holy Land. Rumbling, the void shook, and the bright moon that had appeared above the sea and the sky disappeared. The power of chaos intensified and transformed into a brand new vision. Amidst the earth-shattering roar, peaks that seemed to reach the sky rose from the ground, and raging rivers traversed the heavens, countless beautiful landscapes and runes complemented each other, condensing into a spectacular panorama that stretched across the sky, blanketing the Chaos Holy Land. Splendid mountains and rivers. One of the manifestations of the Chaos Body. This incredible sight left many geniuses in the Chaos Holy Land stunned. Splendid mountains and rivers, another vision of the Chaos Body, that they didn't expect their holy son Yun Xiao to achieve such a vision. The spark of hope, once extinguished, began to burn anew. Seeing this, Kong Wudao raised an eyebrow. Someone from Chaos Holy Land propped him up to pull himself together, but he didn't care. This act, fueled by the sect's desire to improve, was both amusing and intriguing. After all, this world doesn't improve after finding hope and love. Ants, even with various auras, are just ants. The immense chaotic energy surged and swirled around Yunxiao, forming pillars of chaotic light that reached the heavens, piercing the sky. Yunxiao, standing at the center of these light pillars, seemed to transform into a god of war, born from chaos. As the splendid mountains and rivers became more solid, it seemed as if an entire, real world was materializing behind Yunxiao. Chaos Halberd. Come. Yunxiao reached out into the void. A halberd bathed in divine light instantly tore through space and landed in Yunxiao's hand. The Chaos Divine Halberd, forged from the legendary Vajra Divine Iron, was Yunxiao's personal weapon, a holy artifact. The Chaos Divine Halberd. Holy Sun Yunxiao is finally going all in. Only when the Holy Sun Yunxiao wields the Chaos Divine Halberd is he complete. Combined with the Chaos Body, any existence that is even slightly off is easy pickings. Many monks in the Chaos Holy Land cried out in shock, each more excited than the last. With the Divine Halberd in hand, Yunxiao resembled a celestial emperor, wielding the power to consume entire landscapes. His hair flowed without wind, bathed in divine light, becoming radiant. Boom! Yunxiao, like a meteorite, hurtled towards Kong Wudao. His aura exploded once more as he raised the Chaos Divine Halberd high. Endless runes spewed out like a torrent, as dazzling as stars. Chaos Heaven Cleaving Strike. With a roar, Yunxiao unleashed his full power. The splendid mountains and rivers behind him glowed, radiating a world-destroying aura. As the Chaos Divine Halberd crashed down toward Kong Wudao, the blinding chaotic light transformed into a destructive 9-day galaxy, collapsing onto the world. Boom! A ray of light tore through the sky, and the earth trembled. The area was engulfed by intense chaotic energy. The light turned the world pure white, forcing many onlookers to close their eyes, but many powerful monks didn't want to miss this moment. They focused intently on the battlefield. The space around Kong Wudao had been shattered by the terrifying power of chaos, creating massive cracks that stretched for miles, but Yunxiao knew that intimidation alone wasn't enough. Crush him! The Chaos Divine Halberd blazed even brighter, ignoring the agony of his splitting hand, and he continued his downward swing. The chaotic light swallowed Yunxiao and Kong Wudao, turning God's domain square into a boiling sea of chaotic thunder. This time, he put everything on the line. Such power could defeat a virtual god. It seems. Holy Sun Yunxiao will succeed. A powerful figure from the Chaos Holy Land said excitedly, the Holy Sun Yunxiao won't let us down. Bunch of idiots. Kong Xuanhuan and the other great emperors sneered. How mighty was their divine son? Defeating him with that kind of power? Just a laughable fantasy. Almost instantly, the strong man from the Holy Land of Chaos who had just rejoiced looked changed. His face became stiff. Their eyes fixated on one spot, as if witnessing the most unbelievable sight in the world. Chapter 57 Survival from Desperate Situation. Chaos Body is achieved. It #039, yes so weak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is. The Chaos Holy Land's big shots held their breath, peering through the raging thunder, and saw Kong Wudao standing tall and unfazed. Though lightning crackled all around, he stood like an ancient, sacred mountain, unmoving, his stance unchanged. What? Yunxiao's shock made his exclamation tremble. He'd unleashed his chaos body's full power, wielded the Chaos Divine Halberd, and still, nothing. He couldn't even make the guy flinch. You get one more shot. Kong Wudao's voice echoed, dragging Yunxiao's wandering mind back to earth. Seeing the smirk on Kong Wudao's face, the fear he'd suppressed came crashing back like a tidal wave. Yunxiao's hand trembled on the Chaos Divine Halberd. That last attack was the strongest he'd ever mustered, but it was useless. Faced with this impossible gap, Yunxiao couldn't imagine what it would take to win. No. I can't lose this. He'd challenged Kong Wudao on a whim, blind to the truth. Now, Kong Wudao had offered him a 3-move challenge, with the entire Chaos Holy Land watching. The outcome was tied to their very survival. He couldn't afford to fail. Looks like I have to take that leap today. Yun Xiao muttered, once more channeling the full power of his chaos body, this time burning his own soul. A red gold light blazed from him, amplifying his aura exponentially. The leap he meant was breaking his chaos body's current limits, ascending to a new level and mastering even greater chaotic power. It was a desperate gamble, but he had no choice. Kong Wudao watched all this with an easy demeanor, a calm expression on his face. He let Yun Xiao power up, making no move to stop him. Yun Xiao knew that it was only because Kong Wudao was so confident he would win that he didn't even feel the need to act. The pressure was immense. Kong Wudao felt like an insurmountable mountain, and he was just an ant at its base, not even worthy to look up. Yun Xiao. The Chaos Holy Land's elders watched with pain in their eyes. Burning his soul would cripple his future, an act of self-destruction. But what could they say? Kong Wudao was just too strong. After all their years of cultivation, they'd never seen a young talent like him. A true monster had emerged from the time and space restricted area. Haha. Yun Xiao's a little crazy, but he's got some fight in him. Kong Wudao raised an eyebrow, a flicker of interest in his eyes. He's actually pushing his chaos body to a higher state by burning his soul. He was truly the great Dao's chosen one, driven to the brink. He was unlocking hidden potential. Kong Wudao sensed Yun Xiao's chaos body rising far beyond its initial, rudimentary stage. A talent who could manifest a nascent chaos body in the imperial realm was already a rare find. Others might be worried by this, but Kong Wudao was confident that he could handle it. Rumbling. A terrifying force of chaos exploded from Yun Xiao's body. It shot into the sky like a divine pillar, sending waves of chaotic energy rippling outwards. This is. The Chaos Holy Land's ancestor felt the change and was ecstatic. Yun Xiao's broken through. He's advanced his chaos body from nascent to minor completion. Minor completion chaos body. He achieved it in the Holy Realm. The heavens truly favor us. Ha ha ha. With the minor completion chaos body, Yun Xiao's combat power will skyrocket. He's sure to win. The Chaos Holy Land's monks were swept up in the Elder's joy. The earlier despair vanished, replaced by exhilaration. But many of the time and space restricted area's emperors remained unimpressed, their eyes still holding a condescending disdain. A minor physical upgrade. What's the big deal? They'd achieved a similar physique long ago. It wasn't an uncommon occurrence in their history, so they didn't make a fuss about it. Boom! A roar like a dragon's erupted from Yun Xiao's body. He shone even brighter, as if forged from divine gold. To everyone's shock, a misty, ethereal aura formed behind Yun Xiao, revealing a seemingly invincible figure on the 9th layer of the sky. It's the chaos body's ultimate vision. The immortal king descends from the heavens. A Chaos Holy Land monk exclaimed. Such a chaotic body phenomenon showed that their holy son had taken his chaos body to a whole new level. But there was more. Wow! Waves of law surged in the sky, instantly forming a shimmering curtain of stars. Dazzling points of light, like diamonds, appeared, reflecting a brilliant light. Suddenly, the sky above the Chaos Holy Land was completely transformed, as if billions of stars hung overhead, flooding the world with radiance. Another great phenomenon of the chaos body, the stars light the sky. At that moment, many chaos body visions manifested one after another, the bright moon rising over the sea, the beauty of mountains and rivers, the harmonious song of dragons and phoenixes. 5 great Dao visions appeared simultaneously, and Yun Xiao's aura was overwhelming. Even the 9 emperors of time and space, who had been confident in their own disciples, were now a little concerned. Yun Xiao was becoming a threat. Chaos annihilates the sky. Yun Xiao's eyes flashed with divine light as he unleashed his chaos body at full force. He roared, raised the chaos divine halberd, and slammed it towards Kong Wudao. Chaos annihilates the sky was a chaotic technique Yun Xiao had grasped after awakening his chaos body. It contained the chaos body's primal power, capable of destroying heaven and earth and turning everything to nothingness. Now, amplified with this destructive force, the 5 Dao visions behind Yun Xiao erupted with devastating power. The roaring light turned everything golden, like an endless torrent of chaos, shaking the void. Against this terrifying assault, Kong Wudao looked incredibly small. But a confident smile played on Kong Wudao's lips as he slowly raised a large, pale hand. How weak. Chapter 58 Dao's heart is completely broken. Invincible. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom. Suddenly, Kong Wudao's aura exploded, his eyes deepened, like the cosmos itself, swirling with endless temporal runes that warped space and time. Behind him, a divine gate to heaven, rooted in the avenues of time and space, stood majestic and eternal, rumbling. The heavens and earth shook with deafening explosions. Golden light erupted, bathing the world. A barrage of chaotic, destructive thunder ripped through the sky. Kong Wudao was engulfed, his figure disappearing in the blinding light. Logically, that much force would obliterate everything, but the divine light remained contained, almost frozen, giving the illusion of stillness. Wait. Someone whispered, look at the holy sun of Yunxiao's attack, it's like it's frozen in place. Silence fell over the square. Everyone, including Yunxiao, saw it. The instant the chaotic storm of divine light touched the area around Kong Wudao, it was trapped, frozen solid. Flames, dust, the shattering void storm, the roaring laws of chaos, all completely still, as if caught in an invisible web. The distance around him hung suspended, frozen mid-air, and the white-robed figure at the center stood. Tall, unmoving as a sacred mountain. Then Kong Wudao's voice, laced with amusement, cut through the silence. There's something interesting about that move of yours. But not much. With a casual flick of his sleeve, an earth-shattering wave of energy erupted from him, expanding outward in every direction. The trapped flames and runes shattered into a million pieces of light. Boom! Yunxiao, caught completely off guard by the surge of power, was sent flying like a broken kite, a spray of blood erupting from his chest. As he tumbled, he felt nothing. Replaying the scene in his mind, the shock had glazed over his eyes. With a desperate exhale, he forced out 3 words, Invincible. His chaos divine halberd clattered to the ground. Yunxiao followed, hitting the square with a dull thud. The world held its breath, everyone frozen in place. The sound of Yunxiao's ignominious defeat was like a death knell, echoing in the hearts of the chaos holy land. Lost, Yunxiao, who had transcended his limits and almost mastered the chaotic body. Yunxiao, their last hope, defeated so easily by Kong Wudao. Even the emperors from the time-space restricted area were stunned. Yunxiao's attack had been more devastating than Yi Chen's. They probably wouldn't have escaped unscathed, but Kong Wudao hadn't even used any special abilities. He just used his raw power, and then casually brushed it all aside. What overwhelming power! The silence stretched on. The Son of God is invincible. The cry shattered the stillness. The geniuses from the time-space restricted area cheered. The Son of God is invincible. Their faith in Kong Wudao had reached its peak. Their invincible Son of God was born to dominate. In stark contrast, the hearts of the Chaos Holy Land sank, faces paled, spirits broken, many collapsing to the ground. Despair filled their eyes. Then, they looked up at the Emperor's decree hanging over the Holy Land. Their agreement had been clear. The Chaos Holy Land had lost. With a word from Kong Wudao, they would be erased. The expressions of Xuanhuan Ancestor and the other Chaos Holy Land ancestors twisted. Despair mixed with fury, for a top power in Beixian Dao domain to be brought to its knees by Kong Wudao. Even a cornered rabbit will bite. They yearned to fight, to make Kong Wudao pay. But, the Emperor's decree loomed above them. Their anger was doused with a cold dose of reality. The Chaos Holy Land had fallen. There was no Emperor left. Could they truly fight the time-space restricted area? What a tragedy! Xuanhuan Ancestor cried inwardly. Is this the day the Chaos Holy Land falls? Yunxiao remained on the ground, staring blankly at the sky, muttering, Invincible, invincible. Ding! The Destiny protagonist Yunxiao has been detected. Due to the Master's overwhelming strength, the invincible Taoist heart has been shattered. The opponent's destiny points have been reduced by 1,500 points, leaving 2,200 points. Congratulations to the Master for triggering a double critical hit and successfully gaining 3,000 destiny points. Kong Wudao had yet to activate the Emperor's decree. Suddenly, a surge of divine energy and power erupted from deep within the Chaos Holy Land. This is. Xuanhuan ancestor was taken aback, then his expression changed. It's coming from the ancestral temple. Have the ancestors awakened? Sensing the power, Kong Wudao frowned slightly, looking toward the source. These ancient sects were always a pain, like dealing with a toddler. You suppress one only to have their granddaddy come out of the woodwork. But he wasn't worried. Even if the so-called patriarch of the Chaos Holy Land showed up, he was confident in his ability to put them down. Chapter 59 Ancestor Emperor Huntian. Ask the Son of God to show your noble hand. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Whoa! Epic, chaotic runes bounced off each other in the void, finally coalescing into an ethereal, divine bridge. On that sacred bridge, a shadowy figure, radiating raw chaotic power and with a face obscured from view, slowly materialized in the air. It's the founder. Feeling the aura emanating from the figure, Ancestor Xuanhuan was utterly convinced. It was the founder of their Chaos Holy Land, Emperor Huntian, who had led them into their most glorious age. Outside the Chaos Holy Land, many powerful cultivators who had come to spectate, having heard the news, also noticed the strange goings-on within. What in the world is happening at the Chaos Holy Land? Why is there another great emperor projection showing up? Damn, could it be the one from the Chaos Holy Land legends? Who did the Chaos Holy Land tick off? They had to summon an ancestor projection. These ancestor projections only appeared when a sect faced an existential threat, about to be wiped off the map. Clearly, the Chaos Holy Land was facing a cataclysmic crisis, serious enough to resurrect its founder's projection. Son of God, watch out! Supreme Being Yin Yen quickly stepped in front of Kong Wudao, ready to react to any sudden moves. Kong Wudao was unfazed. This wasn't even a will, just a simple projection. Sure, he was a great emperor in life, but now he was just a ghost, unable to access even a sliver of his former power, unless he harbored any rebellious thoughts. Emperor Huntian would have to watch the Holy Land of Chaos get razed to the ground. Time-space forbidden zone. Emperor Huntian ignored the cries and pleas of the Chaos Holy Land's leaders below. His gaze flickered to the shattered chaos clock. Then, he locked his eyes on Kong Wudao. He could sense the aura of the time-space forbidden zone radiating from him. What's more, he felt a terrifying bloodline power within Kong Wudao. If he remembered correctly, that bloodline was exclusive to the core descendants of the time-space forbidden zone. No doubt about it, Kong Wudao held an incredibly high position there. Sigh. Emperor Huntian sighed. Even the Chaos Holy Land at its peak couldn't afford to cross someone like that, and now, the Holy Land was a shadow of its former self. He didn't know what had caused this mess, why the Chaos Holy Land had provoked Kong Wudao, but the damage was done, and he had to do something. To everyone's shock, instead of challenging Kong Wudao and demanding answers, Emperor Huntian bowed deeply, and said, "The Chaos Holy Land has been blind and offensive. Please, forgive us. I don't ask for your pardon, I just hope you'll allow us to continue the legacy of the Holy Land of Chaos. The Holy Land of Chaos is willing to serve you as a patron from now on, doing whatever you need, no questions asked." Emperor Huntian's voice echoed clearly in the ears of every powerful figure in the Chaos Holy Land. At that moment, the entire Chaos Holy Land's world was flipped upside down. Their ancestor, the legendary founder of the Chaos Holy Land, was offering to surrender to Kong Wudao, offering up the loyalty of the entire sect. Hearing this, Kong Wudao raised an eyebrow, surprised. "If I remember right, the Holy Land of Chaos, founded by your predecessors, has been around for a long time. Are you sure you're willing to give up your pride?" Emperor Huntian visibly trembled at those words. He caught the title Son of God. He had suspected Kong Wudao's identity all along, but hearing it confirmed still rocked him to his core. The sons of God in the time-space forbidden zone were the sons of those two supreme beings. "Yes, and if you're not convinced, I'm willing to hand over the Chaos Token, which controls the very lifeblood of the Chaos Holy Land." The faces of the Chaos Holy Land's elders turned ashen at those words. The Chaos Token represented the heart and soul of the sect. Whoever controlled the token controlled the life and death of the entire Chaos Holy Land. As the founder, Emperor Huntian was no fool. He quickly understood what Kong Wudao was after. Kong Wudao wanted to use their Chaos Holy Land as a stepping stone for the time-space forbidden zone, crushing them while at it, just to flex their power, to avoid destruction, they had to surrender completely. The elders understood their founder's reasoning. Although such a shameful display was hard to swallow, they had no other choice. Xuanhuan, one of the Chaos Holy Land's oldest ancestors, bowed low towards Kong Wudao, saying in a quivering voice, "Lord Son of God! Please, show us your mercy. Spare the Chaos Holy Land. From now on, I pledge to serve you, forever and always, and never betray you." Not only him, but the other elders also knelt and begged, "Please, Lord Son of God, have mercy. We'll follow you anywhere, no matter the danger." Thump, thump, one by one, they kneeled. Countless members of the Chaos Holy Land knelt, bowing to Kong Wudao, their voices shaking but filled with utter submission. "Please, Lord Son of God. We surrender to you. Just spare our lives." In that moment, every disciple and elder of the Chaos Holy Land knelt as one, faced with absolute power. The pride of their sacred sect was utterly crushed. Now, all they could hope for was Kong Wudao's forgiveness. As for Yun Shao, his spirit broken, he felt nothing. He finally understood Secular's words. Weakness was the ultimate sin.